Most of us in this country have plenty of food, and unless we're hobby gardeners, we usually don't think about where it comes from. Meanwhile, images in other countries have haunted newspaper headlines and our TV screens. We watch emergency relief workers handing out food to those in need. And maybe you've even opened your wallet, wrote a check, hoping to make a difference. But have you ever wondered what more can be done to solve the underlying problem of worldwide hunger and poverty? And what is the business community doing to help? The answer might surprise you.
Mark, some companies have made it their mission to focus on better health around the globe. Our research shows that some businesses take helping people to grow their own food very seriously. One organization, the Food for Everyone Foundation, is doing just that. And they hope that one day, through their efforts, there will be enough food to feed everyone who is hungry. Debbie Dujanovic reports.
While gardening is said to be the most popular hobby in the country, those of us who are used to buying our food at the grocery store might not give gardening a second thought. But for many people in developing countries, growing their own food can be a matter of life and death. According to the United Nations World Food Program, hunger afflicts 1 out of 7 people on Earth. In many countries, the combination of centuries-old growing methods and natural weather problems result in frequent famines. And it's common knowledge that those who are undernourished are also more vulnerable to disease. But what if people everywhere could grow their own food successfully? What if abundant crops could thrive where the earth is dry and the climate unforgiving? Those at Food for Everyone Foundation believe world hunger can be a thing of the past. They teach gardening techniques that ensure food can be grown almost anywhere, giving people tools for self-sustenance. Their goal is for their instructional website, training materials, and on-site training to inspire a love of gardening and the ability to provide food for themselves and others. Company President Jim Kennard feels that if people learned these crop-growing techniques and then shared their knowledge with hungry people, it could change the world. How did Dr. Mittleider get started teaching?
After about 20 years' successful experience as a nurseryman, he decided to use his experience to make a difference in the world for good. And he was challenged to see if he could grow food in some of the most difficult situations and circumstances around the world. He then went to those places, lived there, and taught gardening to people who really depended on it to make a living, to stay alive. He, over the years, improved his methods, and today it is an extremely efficient, easy method that is known worldwide as the Mittleider method of gardening.
How did Food for Everyone get started?
Well, about 26 years ago, I met Dr. Mittleider and became a Mittleider gardener myself. And I had the opportunity to go with him and see and help him on some of the projects. I actually learned how to do it, and I determined that people who used these methods made tremendous changes in their lives. It really made a difference for good, and I wanted to carry that to the world, to millions of people. And so I founded Food for Everyone Foundation as a public charitable foundation in order to carry this work out and do the most good possible.
What is the relationship of the foundation with Dr. Mittleider?
Dr. Mittleider has entrusted the exclusive worldwide rights to his materials to the foundation, and he acts as a consultant to the foundation.
World-renowned international agriculture consultant Dr. Jacob Mittleider developed this food-growing method while conducting agricultural training around the world. He found that the diseases, insects, and nutritional deficiencies were similar in all the countries he visited, and he determined that the solution simply required good plant nutrition and following scientific agricultural practices. Dr. Mittleider has managed to create an easy-to-use method that allows gardeners to raise an abundance of vegetables and other crops on almost any soil, in almost any climate, and at almost any elevation. On average, how much more food is grown using the Mittleider method compared to gardens that aren't using this method?
Basically, everywhere Dr. Mittleider has gone, he's been challenged with that kind of question, and he has always been able to at least double the production. And more often than not, 3 to 4 times, we actually have documentation of increases 10 times what people were achieving before he came there.
In which countries has the Mittleider method made a big difference?
There's been a difference in every country where he's been. He's been in 27 countries, but tremendous changes have been seen in Papua New Guinea, Zimbabwe, Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, in the Fiji Islands, in Russia and several of her provinces, in Okinawa, Japan, and even in the Navajo reservations of southern Utah.
According to the experts at Food for Everyone, there are two major types of farming: soil-based and hydroponics. Soil naturally provides nutrients needed for plant and human nutrition, but many times the earth has been overworked or is not fertile, or there just isn't available space. That's why much of our store-bought produce is hydroponically grown, such as the plastic hothouse tomato. Hydroponic gardening suspends roots in nutrient-laden liquid, but requires very expensive buildings, equipment, and constant monitoring. Food for Everyone says that the Mittleider method combines the best features of soil gardening and hydroponic gardening, but without hydroponics expense. Crops are large because plants are close together, nourished by supplemental feedings of natural mineral nutrients, but with no special equipment. And plant roots are in the ground, where they receive other nutrients not provided by hydroponic growing. Crops can be raised in either soil beds or grow boxes. The people at Food for Everyone claim that the Mittleider method allows plants in soil beds to have the most efficient weeding, fertilizing, and watering possible, while grow boxes can be built anywhere, on hillside land, rocky soil, clay, alkali, or even asphalt, enabling food to grow wherever there is someone to tend the crops. How does using the Mittleider method make people more capable and interested in growing their own food?
Well, their gardens are more beautiful and productive. They're easier and more enjoyable to work in and care for several reasons, including the simple hand tools that are used, so there's little training or expense. The gardens are clean and weed-free. The rows are straight with wide aisles. Watering and weeding are both simplified, so they're no longer a hassle. Only the planting area is tilled, and you can do it in virtually any soil condition.
But these methods aren't just for use in famine-stricken lands. Food for Everyone says their gardening techniques can be used anywhere and by anyone who wants a healthy, produce-filled garden. Commercial growers can benefit as well as home gardeners who might want to grow, well, the makings of a salad in suburbia or tomato plants on a city patio. Now, USDA guidelines do tell us we need 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Food for Everyone says, why not grow those servings right in the backyard? How can the Mittleider method be used by inexperienced home gardeners?
Dr. Mittleider's books teach people how to garden at every level, from 6 steps to successful gardening, which takes the novice gardener graphically step by step through everything they need to know, all the way up to the Mittleider gardening course, which teaches the basics all the way up to seedling production, vertical growing, greenhouse construction, everything that a seasoned veteran would want to know about gardening.
What are the most important aspects of the method that allow gardeners to obtain a healthy, abundant garden?
The 3 most important areas that are covered thoroughly in the Mittleider method are, first, seedling production, producing healthy seedling plants and then transplanting them. We have found that transplanting healthy seedlings, as opposed to planting seed in the garden, eliminates greatly most of the problems that are encountered in the family garden. Second, seedbed preparation. Dr. Mittleider says no amount of scratching after the crop is planted can overcome the ill effects of poor seedbed preparation. And third, plant nutrition. The health of people is determined by the amount and kinds of food that they eat, and the same thing holds true for plants. They must have the right kind and the right amounts of food. And as with people, too much is almost worse than not enough. We've also found that all plants need the same 13 nutrients, and that plants get, with the Mittleider method, the right amount of fertilizer that gives them everything they need.
There's something about being able to pick your vegetables right from the garden. It sure looks more appetizing than the cellophane wrap variety. In any event, anyone who thought that growing their own food couldn't be done because of inexperience or living situation might want to give gardening another look. And who knows, perhaps those who learn how easy it is might, like Dr. Mitleider, spread the benefits around the world. This is Debbie Dujanovic from Lehi, Utah for Business World News.
It's hard to believe that the work of just one man has done so much, and it's also very inspiring.
It really is, Mark, and I think that story just shows how the business community works hard to make a difference, and certainly would be great if more people, more companies would start helping others to lift themselves out of starvation and poverty.
And maybe this is one way to make that happen. Self-sustenance can be a powerful tool, and it looks like Food for Everyone Foundation can help a lot of people get started.